What's going on YouTube? Ryan Alex back from Dopamon again. Today we get to talk about Team Germany in the upcoming Winter Olympic Games. Just announced their roster earlier today. We're going to go through all the players, a little preview on everybody, a little prediction time, and just kind of give a general sense of what the lines are going to be. Obviously this is a prediction, so we can be very, very wrong, but we will see. Seem to be pretty accurate so far in our predictions for the Olympics. And even without the NHL players in it, Germany has a lot of players from the DEL still. And yeah, we'll go through those.
And if you've been following along, we have covered the rosters and lines for almost every single national team now. China, Canada, Finland, Latvia, Russia, Switzerland, Sweden, United States. So check those out if you haven't already. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to keep up with more dope hockey content, because we still have a lot more Olympics to go. It hasn't even started yet.
Yep, absolutely. We're going to be doing a lot of this. We love the Olympics. We love international hockey in general. It's one of our favorite things. So, just to get started, our goaltenders will be, for Team Germany, Matthias Niederberger, Felix Bruckmann, and Danny Alstenbierken. Niederberger will be the starter, in my opinion. Seems to be the best goalie. I'm going to scroll down to his stats, but fair warning, they are broken as all hell. He has saved 200% of his shots. We'll flip over to, and the thing's all screwed up because I didn't prep for HockeyDB, but he has a 931 save percentage and 203 goals against average. Not a 2,000 save percentage anyway. Felix Bruckmann, Adler Mannheim's goalie. Two of the top three starting goalies are Adler Mannheim's goalie and Berlin's goalie in the German DEL League. Currently has a 922 over there. Is playing very well. So these are their top goalies, and Austin Birken as well. The older guy, 36 years old. Hasn't played a whole lot for Team Germany over his life, but has not comparatively to some of the other guys, there's a huge chunk in here where he doesn't have a whole lot of international competition, more so as an older guy. Has a sub 900 save percentage in the DEL for Munich, and 11 and 13. So he'll be the third guy, but a veteran presence back there. Niederberger, definitely the number one. And underratedly, this German team, defending silver medalists in 2018 Olympics. So a lot to be expected out of Team Germany, I think.
I definitely I like their goaltending tandem starting backup between Niederberger and Bruckmann. They're both incredible, and I think they could carry them to a medal. So our first D pairing, on the left we have Fabio Wagner, and on the right Marco Nowak. The W's might be pronounced as V's. Maybe it's Wagner and Novak. Not sure. Nowak, he's a really big guy, 6'2", 214 pounds. He's big. He's a really responsible defensive defenseman. He's been playing a lot for Dusseldorf. He used to be their alternate captain. I guess it was stripped from him. He was the captain of Team Germany at the Deutschland Cup just a few months ago. In my opinion, he gets a lot of over 20 minutes a night for the Dusseldorf team. In my opinion, he might be the best German defensive defenseman outside of North America. So we have him on our top pair with Fabio Wagner, who was captain of his own Ingolstadt team last year, but wasn't anymore. He also had his captaincy stripped. I think that's pretty funny. These two were a top pair at that Deutschland Cup. So we have him as a top pair for the Olympics as well.
Second pair for Team Germany has a familiar name for me on it. We got Konrad Abeltshauser and Korbinian Holzer. Leaf legend Korbinian Holzer. Both these guys are absolutely gigantic defensemen. Abeltshauser, 6'5", 225 pounds. Absolute mammoth of a man. Big, mobile, pretty mobile dude, it says. That's the scouting report on him. 20 points in 35 games there for München. And Korbinian Holzer got some NHL experience, comes with him. Played for Toronto and Anaheim in his career. Not an offensive guy, but very, very good in his own end. 8 points in 22 games in the DL this year. I think he's a great top four, a good minutes eater for Team Germany. He'll have a big role.
In our third pair, we have Jonas Mueller on the left and Dominic Bittner on the right. Jonas Mueller, he's a guy that's played for the Eisbaren Berlin his entire life. It was his youth team. He grew up playing in Berlin, and he's playing there now. Is scoring a little bit, more of a defensive guy from what I've seen. Still pretty young at 26 years old. I know the NHL doesn't respect DEL contracts, so some of these guys you have to wonder if they perform really well at the Olympics, what the chances are of them maybe getting an NHL contract coming over, at least playing in the AHL, for instance. And I think he's a guy who's young enough to maybe get a second look. As well, Dominic Bittner on the right. He's a guy that I know he got a little bit of attention because he played just 1 year in the WHL with the Everett Silvertips. At the time, he was a +2 in his draft. He was 2 years out of it, above his draft year. So I think it was kind of I'm a little bit surprised, but I guess when anytime a European comes to play in North America, there's always a lot of hype around them. Right now, he's playing for the Grizzlys Wolfsburg in the DEL.
And just our extra guys here. On defense, we have Marcel Brandt and Moritz Mueller. Moritz Mueller is listed as both Brandt, not Mueller, is listed as both a winger and a defenseman on a Leafs prospects. So I don't know if he's going to be playing forward or defense, but we have him for defense here. 5'9", smaller dude, 29 years old, and currently playing in DL, like basically everyone on this team, aside from a few guys. 17 points there. And Moritz Mueller, the veteran for Team Germany, 35 years old. Very smart defenseman, very heady, very, very good at what he does, and incredibly experienced internationally with Team Germany, including the last Olympics team where he played 7 games, currently playing in the DL where he's 19 points. That is our defense group for Team Germany in their defending silver medal run.
Course, the IIHF in their official announcement did have Brandt listed as one of the defensemen, just on the roster listing, but he could very well be a forward. And speaking of forwards, our top forward line on the left we have Tom Kuhnwackel, down the middle Dominic Cahoon, and on the right Stefan Leubel. Two of these names should be fairly familiar. Tom Kuhnwackel, he was a 4th-round pick back in 2010 for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Played a bunch in the NHL, but kind of got forced down into the AHL and didn't like his playing there, so he came over to the SHL. He's one of the 3 Germans playing in the SHL right now, and interestingly, all 3 Germans that play in the SHL are on this roster. And he's one of them. Should be a very familiar name for a bunch of us, and as well a more familiar name, Dominic Cahoon down the middle. Most recently played with the Edmonton Oilers in the NHL. I thought maybe he could have, if he made something work with McDavid or Draisaitl, could have stayed in the NHL, but he didn't. So now he's playing with the SC Bern in the top Swiss league, the National League, and he was scoring over a point per game, which is incredibly impressive. And of course, on the right, Stefan Leubel. You might not have heard of him, but he is a teammate with Dominic Cahoon in the SHL. He is one of those 3 guys as well, so we have them together.
Teammate of Kuhnwackel's, you mean?
Oops. He's which one was playing in the SHL? Yeah, Kuhnwackel. Yeah, it's Kuhnwackel's. Apologies. Kuhnwackel's teammate in the SHL. Who's playing in the National League. My apologies.
Yeah, that's all right. Mix it up. Our second line. We got Marcel Nobles, Daniel Pieta, and Leo Friedl. Mess up that name. Leo Friedl. Sorry if you were watching. Marcel Nobles, 29 years old, 6'3", Signed, originally drafted by the Philadelphia Flyers, plays in the top DEL team right now. Is this Berlin team? Is over a point per game, 45 points in 39 games. He could easily slot into the top line, but we have him down here. We want to spread the big names out a little bit. Pieta, 35 years old, is a really good two-way guy that can win faceoffs. And he wins a lot of them, apparently. That's the scouting report on him. 28 points. And Frudel, right-hand shot winger, highly skilled, 41 points. Again, over a point per game on that top DEL team, on the same team as his line mate there. 41 points in 40 games there. And very good top six, I think, for Germany. And I didn't reveal it in the thing, but there it is.
Yeah, Fudel and Nobles, they're line mates in Eisbaren Berlin, and this pairing, this top three that we have, was the top line at the Deutschland Cup, so we kept them together. And the second line at that Deutschland Cup, we also kept together, which is our third line. We have on the left Yasin Ellis, down the middle Patrick Hager, and on the right Tobias Reader. Toby Reader should be a name that is very familiar to a bunch of us. And Hager and Ellis are also line mates for the EHC, the Red Bull Munich team. So they are very familiar with each other. They've played internationally at the Deutschland Cup. So we have them together. Toby Reader is a fourth round pick back in 2011 for the Edmonton Oilers. I feel like he's a guy that been a notorious, bottom six kind of role. And he is the third German playing in the SHL that we have. All three of them, of course, made it on this roster. We were talking that maybe we could, see him sliding up, maybe into the top six or something. But, given that they played all together the Deutschland Cup, we have him on the third line. So, it's a name that a lot of people are going to recognize and maybe question why we have him there and not higher. But there's some chemistry involved. And when you're, putting a team together that, has, from 2018, they have, they have to live up to that, to that medal. So maybe chemistry is a huge factor, and I feel like that's why we have them together. That these guys from a lot of teams don't know each other, and knowing each other, internationally building a team, it'll matter a lot. Now Patrick Hager, neither him or Ellis have been drafted in the NHL, but Hager, the past few years, he's been the captain of that EHC München team in Munich, one of the better DEL teams. He was also the alternate captain at the Deutschland Cup, so he brings a huge leadership factor. And on the left wing there, Yasin Ellis, he also for the same EHC München team. I don't think he brings as much leadership factor. He's definitely an offensive presence. He scored a lot in the DEL, but the past few years he hasn't scored as much. He's not scoring as much this year, so I'm a little bit low on him. But this is I like this third line.
Just to round out our four group here on the fourth line, we got Frederick Tiefels, Matthias Placha, and David Wolf. Teifels goes by Freddie Teifels. 26-year-old, originally a sixth-round pick of the Pittsburgh Penguins back in 2015. Played a lot over here in the USHL, NCAA, but currently playing for the München DEL team. Has way over a point per game, 32 points in 26 games over there. So look for him for some offense for Team Germany, who didn't have a whole lot of it in 2018. So we'll see if they're able to score. They got to the silver medal essentially by playing very low event hockey and winning 2-1 in a lot of the games that I can remember there. Placha, big center, 6 feet tall, left-hand shot over there. After Adler Mannheim, 28 points in 33 games. And David Wolf rounds out our expected lineup here. 32 years old, a little bit more of a veteran, has some NHL experience, played 3 games for the Calgary Flames back in 2014-15, and again, playing for Adler Mannheim, the DEL, was the assistant captain there a few years ago. A lot of international experience, including the last Olympic Games for Team Germany.
Yeah, this line is a line at Adler and Mannheim. They all play together, so a lot of familiarity. Though sometimes I think Tiffels is on the. Sorry, it was Wolf and Plachta that are on Adler Mannheim that are line mates. Well, Tiffel's his center in the Munich team is Ben Street, who made it to Team Canada. It's a little interesting fact.
Mhm.
And that brings us to our final two extra forwards. We have Nico Kramer and Leon Bergman. Bergman is a guy that, while he wasn't drafted, he did play in the USHL and got attention from the San Jose Sharks. Played with them for 2 seasons. Only got 1 point through 13 games. Scored a little bit in the AHL, but came back to Germany, where he's playing all right with the Adler Mannheim. And on the left, Nico Kramer. No NHL or AHL experience here. He has been playing for Adler Mannheim for the past 5 years. He's also a pretty good scorer himself. And neither of these guys were on that 2018 Olympic roster, so they don't have as much to play up for. But the rest of the guys do.
Yeah. Also, low key, one of the most insane elite prospects pictures I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Why is that picture your picture? Sorry, but you need to change that. That's Team Germany. Defending silver medalists, like we said, lost to Team Russia in the 2018 tournament. Yeah, this is the team that they will try to go at it again. Underrated country. They're actually very high up in the world rankings, I believe, at this point. Above teams like Sweden currently. I think they might be 5th or 6th as far as the world international hockey rankings. Not sure exactly, but they've been climbing. Good programs over there now, really good goaltending, and it's going to be defense and goaltending that bring them far in this tournament, but they have an insanely difficult task of playing Canada and US. I know a lot of people are really low on the American roster right now, but they're still the Americans. They still should be, not gone in there, disrespected. They're going to play well. China is obviously in their division as well. They will beat China. But yeah, I think they have a legitimate shot to potentially be top of the division. I mean, they beat Canada in the semifinal game in 2018. Obviously very different teams from that year, but they have beaten teams like Canada in the past. So don't rule them out to come out of Group A on top of that table. But for me, I'm going to put them second, maybe third right now, depending on. It'll come down to Germany, US for me. But and who wins that game and who takes second in that table.
Yeah. Any players that you're surprised missed? Because I am.
Yeah, I know we talked about a couple. You can talk about these guys.
Oh yeah, Brooks Maychek. He's the top German scorer in the KHL right now. I'm really surprised he didn't make it. He is he's pretty good himself. And there are 3 young players currently playing in the AHL, but are on NHL contracts, so they're unable to join this team. One of them's Dominic Bach, who has not played a single NHL game. So if he had only signed an AHL contract, he'd be here. As well as JJ Paterka and Lucas Reichel, top picks from 2020. Both only have 2 NHL games. That's just what it is. They can't come. They're not allowed. Or they're signed to NHL contracts, but I would love to see all 3 of them at representing Germany.
Yeah, we actually predicted the all-kid line to come back to representing the U18s a couple years ago in Stützle, Reichel, and Paterka in our previous video when we thought NHL players were going. But yeah, too bad for them, I guess. It would have been a cool experience for those young kids, but hopefully they get that experience in 4 years if the NHLs go back, because they should be on that team by then, I would think. But yeah, this is Team Germany. Let us know what you guys think. Did they miss anybody? Did we miss anything in our lines? Let us know if you know anything about German hockey. We'd love to hear from you down in the comments. And yeah, leave a like on this video if you got this far and enjoyed, and subscribe to the channel for more dope hockey content coming soon. A lot of Olympic stuff still to happen. We almost got through all the rosters, but it's going to be a crazy couple weeks there on. It's going to be a crazy couple weeks here on the channel. So look out for any of that if you enjoy this kind of Olympic style content. Till next time, peace.